What is the worst part about your life right now? Cancer and chemotherapy. My quality of life diminished to nothing. Extreme nausea, fatigue, pain. Can't eat, can't drink, can't sleep. Honestly understand why someone would give up. I am still fighting, but it's the hardest thing I have ever done. Crippling anxiety with a side of spicy depression. Inflation is fucking my budget up. Living with my husband who is succumbing more and more to his mental health problems, which also makes him less and less aware they are problems and less likely to get any treatment. Since he is not psychotic or suicidal, there really isn't anything I can do. I just watch him deteriorate, try to dodge his abusive outbursts, mollify him as much as possible, enjoy the small bits of good things we still have, and try not to think about how this has already ruined my life. I have left my career and given up on having kids because I never know when he will be too mentally unstable for me to leave alone. Finding work is hard. Meanwhile, I'm getting older and everything is getting more and more expensive. What a shitty time to be alive. I miss my wife. It's been just over 3.5 years. And any time I get excited about something, I'm just reminded that I want to show her. I just saw the trailer for Silent Night and I got kinda sad. Depression. Mosquitoes. Best friend of a decade is no longer a best friend. She has continuously hurt me over the past year and has come unrecognizable. As much as I say I don't care, I am hurting and angry. Living check to check with an impending move coming sooner than I'd like to admit. My family. Because they're all a bunch of fucking cunts. Come March 13, 2024. I can finally ditch them for good. My husband and I are on a fun budget of $25 a week on groceries. We are in the process of closing on a home in 3 weeks. So until then, for the past 4 weeks and another 3, we have eaten Kraft mac and cheese. For lunch and dinner, I make popcorn on the stove and eat that for breakfast every day. This is the most miserable I've felt in a very long time. Finding a full-time job and getting an actual social life going on. I had surgery on my inner thigh that left me with a large open wound that needs a dressing change and clean every other day via home care nurses. It's a struggle to sit, walk, use the washroom, or do pretty much anything but lie still. So that really sucks lol. The worst part about my life right now is that I had to quit a good paying job because of diabetes and heart failure, and my wife is constantly trying to get me to go back to work knowing I'm already close to death with my heart being at 30% from what my doctors has told me. It's the least important thing possible. The girl I caught feelings for is seeing someone else and it's really hard. Also, I'm consternating over whether or not to teach that same girl fly fishing. I am pretty solid friends with her boyfriend, but I don't want to come between them. Also, my depression, RSD and imposter syndrome are acting up and making college a bitch right now. The lack of funding to proceed with both the main quest and side quests. Being subtly affected by a two-faced relative. Crippling private student loan debt. I'm just saying, regardless of whatever unempathetic opinion people have about it, the reality is a ton of Americans are weighed down by it. And it's destroying the entire middle class. I pay a mortgage payment every month for student loans. And I want to eat a 12-gauge slug. Not only is it the worst part of my life, it's literally one of the only bad things ruining me right now. By the time I pay off this debt, my health will probably fail, haha. Had to go no contact with us to move back to a state I don't want to be in for the foreseeable future. Had a miscarriage the day I got here. Now struggling with depression and feeling stuck and not knowing what to do next. Struggling with CPTSD. irritating and mildly embarrassing health issues, I suppose. My anxiety and depression, and that fact that my main lifeline husband is leaving for basic training soon. The one person I've loved more than anything is also the only person I refuse to speak to ever again. And instead of trying to make amends for what they did, they are in a relationship with someone else, yet spend their days talking about me to them and cyber stalking me, to the point that their new partner reached out to me complaining about how obsessed they are with me. Being depressed and miserable. Can't afford anything. Chronically ill and unable to work, been fighting for disability for a while now. Living with my parents. I need to move out. But it's taking longer than I thought. It will take at least another year. If not 2. Probably the cancer. Find out the woman I was seeing and had feeling for was also fucking half the town. Never felt so bad. I'm completely broke. I've been to the bank. 3 loan businesses. I have no collateral. They can't do anything for me. My options for loans are estranged man I thought was my dad most of my life. Estranged father, I thought, was my uncle all my life. Love it. Love everything about it. Life's so fucking great and worth it. Single with anxiety. I want a boyfriend and I don't want to date or diet to stop being fat. Despite performing 300 above all the year's performance goals set by my department, I'm being let go due to budget cuts at a massive conglomerate profit-making machine. My quality of life is significantly lower compared to just 10 years ago despite being paid 3x more. I'm actually living with my grandma, trying to help her out. But I can't be me there. If you know what I mean. I mean cause I'm gay. She's very Christian. I am too. But not like her. Old school. Need to get off on my own again. Get a relationship with someone else. My wife of 18 years left me in June. I worked hard for her and helped build her up through our marriage. I raised her 2 kids from her first marriage as my own. I put her through college. She left me for a younger man. Useless friends who are too busy to meet up and rarely text back. I am being attacked by a grizzly bear. I have no watermelon in my fridge. I should have been more prepared for this. I usually am. Oh well. Not being in my forever box yet. There's an old proverb that goes, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Which is all well and good. But there's still the emotional struggle of wondering how things would be different if you had planted that tree 20 years ago. Or in my case, 10 years ago. I'm 32 now. And while that's still not quite middle-aged, I already feel like I've run out of time to do certain things that are important to me now. Because when I was 22 I was stupider and lazier and hadn't even decided what I really cared about. And I really regret that. No life. Being alone. I miss my wife so much but she has gone no contact and I'm left without closure. I found out that a coworker who I thought was cool with me called me a fat, lazy bitch yesterday. My only response was I'm not lazy because I had no other words. I don't understand mean-spirited people. I'm the oldest of 3 siblings and still living at home. Dreaming of being close to someone and then have her taken away or cheat on me every night. I want to be close to someone so bad, but I am too afraid of doing so. My feelings for someone who is really close to me